Welcome to Satan is My Superhero. In this episode, we flex our massive biceps and with the voice of a fallen angel in a roid-filled rage, scream for the blood of all the gods. We're looking at Danzig's debut album titled Danzig. Look, at least this time there isn't also a song on it called Danzig, so that's something new for one of these debut album episodes.
I said, Glenn, people are going to take one look at you and think, douche canoe. Don't give them ammunition with a song about yourself as well.
Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, ice.
After disbanding legendary horror punk band Misfits in 1983, Glenn Danzig threw off the shackles of being held down by lesser mortals and finally launched his stellar solo career. Well, not exactly. Boo. Well, kind of. But also not exactly. Boo.
Make up your mind, jeez.
Danzig had been trying to get a side project going for the last couple of years in Misfits. While he had written all the material for the band, he had grown frustrated at the musical constraints of being a misfit.
I want to play slow sometimes, and I sound like Elvis, Presley, and Jim Morrison had a love child with Nancy Sinatra. What am I doing in a punk band?
With the dissolution of Misfits, this side project became the main focus for Danzig. He called it Samhain, which is most often pronounced as I just did, but if you want to show off and not seem pretentious at all, you can say Samhain or Samhain.
Actually, it's pronounced Samhain. I'll show myself out.
It is the Celtic festival marking the end of the harvest season and beginning on October 31st. Yes, that's right. It's more or less the pagan origin of Halloween.
Hey, if you're a patron at the third Circle of Hell, you will have access to the sister episode of this one.
Misfits, the Danzig Years.
In which you will learn how Danzig tends to claim ownership over Halloween.
This is all mine now. Get your own holiday.
But please, Mr. Danzig, we just wanted some candy.
Go to patreon.com/Satan is my superhero.
And sign up today to support the show. Now, back to Danzig.
The Samhain sound has been labelled as death rock, which is as good a description as any.
Death rock, death rock, death rock. What is death rock?
I thought you knew.
I was just following you.
I was just following you.
Should we stop? No.
Death rock, death rock.
I would say if you like Danzig, there's no guarantee you'll be into Misfits, but Samhain will feel like a warm, purring kitty in your lap.
I'm allergic to cats. Oh, really? I've never seen you have a reaction.
Allergic, not interested in looking directly up their poop chutes at dinner time. Same thing.
Samhain released 2 albums, Initium and the confusingly named Samhain 3, November Coming Fire, along with one EP titled Unholy Passion. This EP came out in between the 2 albums. That's probably why the second album was titled Samhain 3. It makes sense now.
Dumbass.
These were all released on Danzig's own independent record label, Plan 9 Records.
Plan 9? What were plans 1 through 8? Sorry for the dad jokes. Satan is my superhero takes no responsibility for any cringing you may have experienced during that dad joke. Dad joke, yeah.
I'm sure it's no coincidence that the major label interest Danzig had been chasing for a decade finally began after Metallica covered 2 Misfits songs on the $5.98 Garage Days Revisited EP.
We don't just do stuff because Metallica said so. Why? Did Lars say something?
Legend has it that Rick Rubin went and saw Samhain on the advice of Metallica bassist Cliff Burton and signed them to his newly formed Deaf American recording label in 1987.
Cliff told me if I didn't sign you, he'd hit me with his hammer. Do you think he was joking?
No.
Danzig has said of Metallica,
James and Cliff helped to spread the word about me, and I was very grateful to them.
Satan.
According to Danzig, it was Rick Rubin who convinced him to drop the Samhain moniker.
Glenn, you write all the songs, you produce all the artwork, you front the band, you run the label, you screen print the t-shirts, you put the records in their sleeves and mail them, for crying out loud. You are a solo act, and I think the name of this project should reflect that.
So call the band Glenn?
We'll workshop some ideas.
Side note, in researching this episode, I came across 10 different acts calling themselves Samhain. 3 of these released material in 1985, so contemporary with Danzig's outfit. Most were European metal bands, one folk group, and an EDM artist releasing stuff today.
Oh, poor EDM. You will be the first genre to be entirely replaced by machines.
The machines are coming.
The machines are coming. Extermination time, bitches.
Viva la Robot Revolution.
There would be one more Samhain album, Final Descent, released in 1990, which bundled up leftover material in a nice little package and cashed in on the rising Danzig star. But back in 1987, Danzig and Rick Rubin headed into the studio to record Danzig's 6th album and claim it was a debut. Well, not exactly.
Boo.
No, the first thing Danzig and Rubin would work on together would be the soundtrack to the movie Less Than Zero, where Iron Man blows dudes for coke.
No one under 50 knows what you are talking about. Do you have any other obscure Generation X references for us?
Presenting another obscure Generation X reference.
What happened to Trippin' Talker? What happened to our Winona? What happened to Generation X? Generation, excuse me. Generation Executive. Generation Extreme. I mean the style of sport, not the band. Kurt Cobain, he had to die. He didn't want to sleep with Satan. That's a joke about Courtney Love.
I blame myself. I shouldn't have asked.
So for the Less Than Zero soundtrack, Danzig wrote and performed the song You and Me. But the satanic Jersey punk rocker also wrote the haunted ballad Life Fades Away for none other than the king of the haunted ballad, Roy Orbison.
Well, gee willikers, Mr. Rubin, I listened to some of this Danzig stuff, and I gotta tell you, I think he might be a devil worshipper.
Get back in the booth, Roy.
Yes, sir, Mr. Rubin.
Roy Orbison as a 13-year-old child.
Bass player Eerie Von, who was the only other constant member of Samhain with Danzig, refused to play on the track, and I don't blame him. It's awful.
This is not worth our time, Glenn. It's 1987. Roy Orbison's career is over. It's not like he's going to join a supergroup next year and have a massive resurgence. And who is this Robert Downey Jr.? He's going nowhere.
Don't get me wrong, Roy Orbison could sing the shit out of a haunted ballad. Years later, Danzig would write the song Sistinas, which is exactly the type of haunted ballad Roy Orbison could have sung the shit out of. Life Fades Away is not that song.
Aw, shucks.
So finally, after that distraction, in September 1987, Glenn Danzig, along with Eerie Von on bass, John Christ on guitars, and Chuck Biscuits on drums, entered Atlantic Recording Studios in New York to lay down the tracks for this damn debut album.
Hi, I'm Eerie Von. This is Chuck and John. We're Samhain, here to record an album.
Oh, right, you're Danzig's backing band.
Wait, what?
The songs Twist of Cain, Soul on Fire, Am I Demon, Possession, End of Time, and Evil Things are all filled with satanic and biblical imagery.
Glenn, all your songs are about Satan.
That's just not true. Some of them are about demons.
She Rides seems like a pretty straightforward, sleazy rock song about doing squat thrusts in the cucumber patch, but according to John Christ, it's a reference to the not quite biblical character Lilith, who, despite what someone on TikTok may have told you, was a literary creation from the Dark Ages.
So this is the one non-Satan song we asked for?
Yep, She Rides. It's just a dirty, sleazy sex song.
And it's definitely not referencing some obscure Bible passage.
You definitely won't find any of this song in the Bible.
Why are you smirking?
Not of This World is an enigmatic song, possibly referencing the kingdom of Christ or an alien invasion.
What about Not of This World? That's about an alien invasion.
Is it, though? The title is directly out of the Bible.
The Bible? I can't say I'm familiar with that particular book.
I can see you smirking again.
The Hunter is a cover of a Booker T and the MGs song. While having no biblical references, which is rare for a Danzig tune, he did tweak the lyrics to be gorier with a slasher horror movie vibe.
I covered that song from the 50s you wanted.
Yeah, and made it sound like it was about a horrific, violent sexual assault.
Dude, I only added the horrific.
But of course, the song you've heard, even if you've never heard of Danzig, is the 6th track on the album, Mother.
Danzig wrote a song called Mother? Tell me you forgot Mother's Day without telling me you forgot Mother's Day.
Even before recording, Danzig knew the song was special. He has said,
I remember calling Rick Rubin in the middle of the night and telling him that I wrote an incredible song. Probably the best song I've ever written. It was the song I always wanted to write.
I imagine Rick Rubin has had to listen to that phone call 1,000 times from 1,000 different artists over the years.
No, seriously, Rick. This time, it's for real. This is gonna be a massive hit. I'll be bigger than Elvis. I'm not drunk. You're drunk.
This song is so important to the Danzig legacy, it was remixed and re-released as a single 2 more times.
It's 11 past the hour and you're listening to D-Rock 066.6 FM, the home of rock. This is Jiggy and the Goozer Show. I'm Jiggy.
And I'm the Goozer.
Oh, Goozer!
Sorry.
It's 35 degrees outside, and up next we've got the latest single from Danzig.
Danzig, Danzig, Danzig. I'm excited, Jiggy.
Oh no, don't get too excited, Goozer.
Oh, Goozer!
Too late, Jiggy.
I feel you, Goozer.
Ew, touch the Goozer at your own risk. Oh, Goozer!
It's been 5 years since Mother. I can't wait to hear whatever brand new music D-Rock's favorite Devilman has got for us.
Oh, Goozer!
Play the song, Jiggy, play the song.
Okay, Goozer, here it is, the brand new single from Danzig, Mother... Wait, what?
In the 4 decades since its first release, Mother has appeared in too many movies, TV shows and video games to mention.
Half of the North American steroid and kitty litter trade is financed by royalties from this song.
Kitty litter shipment. Why do you want it?
Didn't you deliver just a few minutes ago?
No, that was your steroid guy.
Oh dear.
It is used as the pump-up track for numerous sporting events, and many athletes and performers around the world use it as their walk-up intro music. Basically, if you want to look and feel cool while walking out in front of an audience, this is your song.
It's showtime!
I'm scared. What if they don't like me?
They've started your intro music.
Alright, let's do this.
The song is all about Tipper Gore's parents' music resource centre and their desire to censor the lyrical content of popular music in the 80s.
Oh, here we go. This old chestnut.
We talk about Tipper Gore's PMRC a lot on this show, which means I don't have to write any new jokes about it.
Lazy.
You call it lazy. I call it an opportunity for a medley of
Gratuitous back catalogue plug.
Here's a sample of the first time we mentioned Tipper Gore, way back in our 4th episode, New Wave of British Heavy Metal. The PMRC trained my generation well. When I hit play on a new Netflix show, I look to the top left of the screen before I take in anything else. If I don't see adult themes and extreme violence, I thumbs down that boring feces and move on. Tipper Gore has saved me thousands of hours of not having to watch stuff I would not have found entertaining. I could have accidentally watched an entire season of The Crown.
Wow, that was brilliant. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a sequel to Game of Thrones.
Were you waiting for dragons the whole time?
The whole time. Here's the time we mentioned her in Dungeons & Dragons 1, Demon Pulling. So close was the relationship between Pulling and the PMRC that Tipper included contact information for Bad in her 1987 book.
Raising PG kids in an X-rated society.
What neighborhood was Tipper raising her kids in? Oh, Washington. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And here's a Tipper Gore sketch from Show No Mercy.
Dear Slayer, please stop what you're doing. I don't like it. Love and kisses, Tipper. P.S. Stop it. You're so naughty. You naughty, hairy, dirty, filthy, foul-mouthed, sweaty, young, hairy man. Oh, God, please stop it.
After many attempts at the perfect Tipper Gore joke, I think I finally nailed it with this one I wrote only this year for the W.A.S.P episode.
I am genuinely concerned about the moral decline of the music industry, and this is definitely not a cynical attempt to appeal to conservatives while raising my husband's profile and readiness for his eventual run at the White House.
Danzig has said,
I wrote Mother about the PMRC and parents who tell their kids what to listen to. Parents should guide their children, not live their lives for them. Kids should discover life on their own.
Don't get me wrong, I do agree with Danzig, but I think the line,
not live their lives for them,
is slightly hyperbolic.
Hi, Mr. Jones. I'm here to take Katie to the prom.
Change of plans, Michael. I'm your date tonight. And don't think you'll be copping a feel of my boob. Not unless someone spikes the punch. And Michael, just so you know, I'm spiking the punch.
Anyway, enough on Tipper Gore. For now. The album took about 7 months to complete, and some of the backing vocals were done by a big fan of the band, James Hetfield. Due to contractual obligations, he was not credited on the album.
Probably wasn't paid either.
The cover art for the album was a very simple white horned skull on a black background. You may have seen this skull logo before. It had been the logo for Samhain. Oh, and you may also know it from the little-known 1983 Marvel comic book series, The Saga of Crystar, Crystal Warrior, where Danzig stole it.
It's 1988. No one will remember Marvel ever existed in a couple years' time.
As far as anyone knows, Marvel artist Michael Gordon, who created the original, has never been acknowledged in any way by the Danzig camp.
A thank you would have been nice.
Danzig has form in this area. He stole the Misfits skull logo, which you have seen on a million t-shirts worn by skater kids who have never heard of Misfits. He got that from a 1946 12-part film serial, The Crimson Ghost.
I can't draw skulls, alright?
Ironically, the album that does not feature any swear words except maybe the word whore
Think of the children!
received the parental advisory sticker, exactly the very thing Mother is all about.
Oh no, not more Tipper Gore.
Irony! Ugh, so ironic.
We talked about these stickers in the Shout at the Devil episode, which gives me one more opportunity for a
gratuitous back catalogue plug,
where we said, this political movement resulted in the explicit content stickers that used to be put on everything awesome in the 90s and noughties. About this event, lead singer Vince Neil said,
Once you put that sticker on, that parental warning sticker, that album took off, those kids wanted it even more.
Well, duh.
Danzig said of that sticker,
We're making people think. You're not allowed to make people think in the United States. You're not allowed to have them question the government or authority.
I'm actually conflicted on this one. I was brought up on 1984 and, well, Danzig. So I am just as concerned about an authoritarian dystopia as the next punk, but somehow we ended up with...
Do your own research!
Some of you monkeys should not be attempting thinking for yourself. Stick to what you do well, like smelling your own farts.
So on August 30, 1988, Danzig, the debut album by Danzig, was finally released, and the critics mostly liked it.
He's okay!
Okay. Okay? I think we could do better than that.
Mother was the first single off the album, and the video was immediately rejected by MTV.
Oh, Jesus, no!
It's MTV.
Yes.
What's that?
The video for Mother opened with a quote from John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress.
Then I saw there was a way to hell, even from the gates of heaven.
I can't see the problem.
The video ended with a chicken being sacrificed. I think I see the problem now. Animal lover Danzig was very quick to point out no chickens were actually harmed in the making of the video. Danzig then toured across the US and Europe with Slayer and Metallica. The album ended 1988 at 125 on the US Billboard 200 chart and would eventually go platinum.
You know what would really help this podcast go platinum? A 5-star review from you. Yes, I'm talking to you. Do it now before I set one of Danzig's cats on you.
What can we take away from Danzig? I wouldn't touch any of his stuff. He could break you in half. And that's why Satan is my superhero. Thank you so much for listening. Rate, review, subscribe, all that podcast stuff. But most of all, please give us money.
Visit SatanIsMySuperhero.com.
If you join our Patreon at the Third Circle of Hell, you'll receive access to exclusive content like this.
They're spooky and they're punky, nefarious, not funky. They're all together spunky, they're the Misfits family.
This is exactly the kind of drive, determination, and self-belief you get when the whole band is on steroids.
We're so punk rock, we don't care about the definite article.
I have one word for you. The Velvet Underground.
It's music for muscle-bound nerds. It's a narrow market.
Ew, bands are gross.
Christ the Conqueror did eventually release an EP but never performed their Christian heavy metal live.
What a shame, said no one ever.
Neo-Nazi skinheads, bald old-age pensioners, who can really say?
Wow. These Christians and their morals, they are quite a thing, aren't they?
Magazines and records. We'll be in business forever.